Good morning and welcome to a daily dose of good news on Friday, August the 7th. It's good to be with you. Our good news this morning is taken from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 18, verses 24 to 28. Now there came to Ephesus a Jew named Apollos, a native of Alexandria. He was an eloquent man, well versed in the scriptures. He'd been instructed in the way of the Lord, and he spoke with burning enthusiasm and taught accurately the things concerning Jesus, though he knew only the baptism of John. He began to speak boldly in the synagogue, but when Priscilla and Aquila heard him, they took him aside and explained the way of God to him more accurately. And when he wished to cross over to Achaia, the believers encouraged him and wrote to the disciples to welcome him. On his arrival, he greatly helped those who through grace had become believers, for he powerfully refuted the Jews in public, showing by the scriptures that the Messiah is Jesus. Here ends the reading. Well, thanks be to God today for Priscilla and Aquila, those in Apollos' life, and those Priscillas and Aquilas in your life as well. Evidently, the Jew named Apollos had become well versed in the way of the Lord. Still one of my favorite metaphors, even names for the church, the way of the Lord. He was eloquent, was Apollos, and persuasive in his speech. And still, Apollos' knowledge and experience was Apollos' knowledge and experience that he had gained with the help of others to that point in time. But Apollos' knowledge and experience, it was not omniscient. He'd only learned the way of the Lord and Jesus through the course of John's disciples and John's baptism. He had yet been enlightened fully to the ministry of Jesus himself and the way of God that was revealed in its fullness through him. So thanks be to God then for Priscilla and Aquila, disciples of Jesus who explain the ways of God more fully to him. And while the text doesn't explicitly say so, I'm confident that Priscilla and Aquila would give thanks to God as well for Apollos and the opportunity they had to deepen their understanding of the way of God, becoming more enlightened themselves as Apollos was being enlightened. And together they understood the varieties of ways that God's way embraces and engages all of us. Thanks be to God for the Priscillas and Aquilas in your life too then. Those people who recognize the wonder and beauty of your life, living in the way of the Lord as you do, and then deepen your understanding and appreciation for the way of God by introducing you to their perspectives that you wouldn't have known otherwise, and the new perspective that you undoubtedly are offering to them as well. The Priscillas and Aquilas with whom you relate in your pandemic bubbles these days. The Priscillas and Aquilas you stay in touch with over telephone or email or social media. Perhaps even the Priscilla and Aquilas that you trust among the authors that you read and the podcasts that you listen to. Thanks be to God for the path which has led you in the way of the Lord so far, and that you share so eloquently in your lives, in word and in deed. And thanks be to God for those Priscillas and Aquilas with whom you exchange perspectives regularly, finding your understandings and appreciations for the ways of God, growing deeper and stronger all the time. Amen. No further updates today. Still praying for Gail Svensson as she looks forward to coming home Saturday. Ken Doolittle, Rehab Center in Westerville, and Julius Nemeth for being treated at Ohio State University Hospital. We have begun making more complete plans for our outdoor worship on Sunday, August 16th. That's not this Sunday, but the following Sunday at 10:30. We'll worship at 8:30 inside to get a good strong stream for the rest of the day. Then outside, we're going to gather in the northeast corner of the property. That's right outside the apse, and gather there on the patio that's outside the sanctuary, and then around the corner, preaching and presiding from the gully there in between, that we might celebrate the gift of community that God fashions among us, especially on the day that, rather than blessing a backpack, since we're not really sure when backpacks will be used again, we'll be blessing bottles of hand sanitizer for students and adults alike, actually. That wherever and whatever we're doing in these days of pandemic, we might know the blessing of our church community goes with us, striving to keep us safe and the community safe as well. We'll also have opportunity that day finally to celebrate First Communion with our 5th graders, now rising 6th graders, whose opportunity for that was postponed on Maundy, Thursday. We look forward to gathering around Word and Sacrament with them in that way as well. That's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoy the rest of yours, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.